What's up, guys? So this week for our how-to, we're going to learn some newer, more advanced type boxing skills. And they are called a slip and shoot and a roll and throw. And we've done these combos similar to those in the past in classes and in different combos that we've done. But we're going to go through it in more detail today in today's how-to. So these are things that coaches, as you're watching these how-tos, you can start implementing these into your classes. And then everybody else who's watching these how-tos, you can practice them while you're free bag or while we're implementing them or while you're shadow boxing or any one of the above. Okay, so the reason that we're going to go into detail on these is because they're pretty much the opposite of the rule of thumb that we teach here at Legends. So again, remember that at Legends, we teach the Legends way of boxing, which is not the industry standard of boxing. But in this scenario here, we are taking it away from our rule of thumb that we teach in class. So we're gonna first go over a slip and shoot. So normally in classes, as we all know, that whatever the last punch that I throw, that's the direction that I'm gonna slip or I'm gonna roll, okay? So in this scenario, what we're doing is we're actually throwing a punch at the exact same time that we are slipping. Okay, so this again called a slip and shoot. So say I throw my one, okay, and I am gonna slip to that direction, but at the same time I'm slipping, I'm gonna throw my two right straight down the middle. And now this slip and shoot does not have to be started with a punch. You don't have to actually begin with a punch. When you're hitting a heavy bag, it's a little easier to learn that slipping motion coming off of that hand. But in a boxing ring, I'm not always going to be the first one to throw a punch, and if someone were to throw a punch at me and I were to just slip right out of the way of it and shoot my two down the middle to their chest or to their chin, then that's a slip and shoot. Okay, so on a heavy bag, so say I said you're 1-2-1 slip shoot. Okay, so that's your combination. So I'm here, 1-2-1, boom, and I'm slipping to the side and I'm throwing that right hand at the exact same time. Same thing if I was a southpaw. I'm just going that opposite direction and slipping, boom, and shooting that right down the middle. A lot of times in a scenario, an ideal target for that is down in the middle of their chest, okay, right into their chest plate. That's a really good ideal target because of the angling of my body and where the level is that I'm at already with where my body is. If I'm shooting up at my target here, then I'm actually taking power away by fighting gravity at that point because I'm not upright with my body and I'm punching at an upward angle. So I'm going to be able to get more power actually driving it straight through to the middle of their chest. Now it doesn't always have to be with your power side. I can slip and throw my one to the opposite direction as well. Okay, so when we're slipping and shooting, what you need to remember is that what direction that you're slipping to, you're throwing the opposite hand. Okay, so if I slip left, I'm throwing the right. If I slip right, I'm throwing the left. And that's going to be your slip and shoot. So these are things that you can start coordinating and practicing the timing of that punch. Okay, so slip and shoot. The next one that we're going to go over is our roll and throw. Okay, so what you're doing there is you're actually throwing the combination or the punch, sorry, just the punch, coming out of the roll. So the most common one that we do at Legends is we're going to roll towards our lead side. Okay, so if I'm a right-handed person, then that means I'm going to be going to my left. And I'm coming out of it throwing my power punch. And typically it's going to be a 6. That's the most common one. So say I throw my 1, and as I roll, I'm coming out of that roll throwing that 6. Okay, so I'm rolling to the left and using my right hand coming out of it. The roll is actually going to help me to produce a little bit more power because of the momentum of my body. It's also opening up that shot and available because that individual just threw their hook at me where I'm rolling right underneath that. So as I come under, boom, I'm coming right out of the top of that, being able to throw that shot and counter and time that punch that's coming right over the top of my head. So no matter what I do on this one, I'm going to be here and roll and come up and out, throwing that 6 out of that roll. So your roll and throw coming up out of it. Going the opposite direction, these would be things like throwing a 3. So say I came in and I rolled here, boom, and I'm throwing that 3 down to that individual's body. Because remember, they just threw a 3 at me, or an 8 to my head, or a 6, and I'm rolling underneath that. And at the same time I'm rolling, boom, I'm throwing that 3 coming across, which is gonna help provide me a little bit of power, but an open body shot is the most important part of that, is that that body area on your opponent is wide open. And so I would be able to tag them in a pretty easy sense right there in the side, being able to come underneath and throwing that 3 at the same time. So see how I'm still down into this position, throw, and then I'm done with that punch by the time I come up out of my roll. And then I have an availability to throw something else. Okay, so we could do combinations like 1, 2, roll and throw, and coming out with that 3. So 1, 2, roll, boom, boom, and then I'm coming out, throwing a 6 out of my roll, and when I'm done and finished with it. I can do all sorts of other things when those capacities. Come back the other direction, throwing my 8 down to somebody's body. So essentially what we want to do is be able to use that momentum of our movement to help develop power. But as we practice it, we need to practice and coordinate the timing of that. So as I'm going down into my roll, I'm throwing that shot. So when I'm coming up, I'm already completely done with it, ready to throw another shot coming out of it. So today's how-to are those things that you can practice on your slipping and your shooting and your rolling and throw. And remember, we want to come out of those rolls and we want to throw the opposite hand to the direction that we're slipping for these different techniques. So apply them, practice them, watch it over and over, and you can get this down into your arsenal and start rocking it.